few strategies that people use to make their voices sound more female, which sometimes actually aren't that successful. And I want to talk about a few of those so that you can kind of hear the problems in them and, possibly, avoid those common pitfalls. The first voice I'm going to try to do is a sort of Mrs. Doubtfire type. And it's kind of comical because it's a standard kind of voice that a man does in a movie or whatever when he's trying to pretend like he's a woman. And it's got this kind of forced sound, and I think you'll sort of hear what I'm talking about.
Hi, I'm trying to sound like a woman, but I ended up sounding very forced and very kind of snooty or something.
The next voice is, I call it the Minnie Mouse voice, and it's caused by people who are using a falsetto voice. And we'll talk more about falsetto in a little while, but the voice is really pinched because they're up in their register into a very forced point. And it kind of sounds like this. Hi, I'm just talking in my falsetto voice, and I sound like a cartoon character. This next voice I call the witch voice, or the croaky voice. It's, what's happening here is the person is almost getting rid of all the tone in their voice and just using this sort of creaking, croaky sound. Let me give you a little example. Hi, how are you? This is kind of the way that some people try to talk because it sounds really pinched and forced, and sometimes they just kind of whisper like this, and it just doesn't sound realistic, does it? The next voice I want to talk about I call the drag queen voice, and this is characterized by a very sort of nasally sounding voice because they're pushing their voice up into their palate, and we'll talk about how they're doing this and how to avoid it in a minute. But it kind of sounds like this.
Hey girl, you look fierce. Where did you get that dress? It's fabulous.
The last one I want to talk about is a voice where I'm sure that they have difficulty on the phone because it sounds way too full and way too deep. Like,
this is Debbie. This is Debbie. And you can kind of hear how my voice, it sounds like I'm trying to do something, but it's still really too low.